Miss Promise, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, over to you.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Okay, I would like to share my screen now. Please, IK, allow screen sharing, please.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Okay. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So let me present. Okay, I earlier introduced and promised. Today I'll be taking you on Git and GitHub. There was a video made on how to push and publish your work to GitHub and all that. But today we'll concentrate on what is actually Git and what is GitHub. Then we'll look at some basic commands in Git. Then we'll have a demo to a rundown of everything that has to do with, or basic things that has to do with Git and what we will use most in this in any project you're working on. So what is Git? Git is not GitHub. Those two are two different words. Git is different from GitHub. Git is a version control system. That is, it's a software that you install locally on your computer to handle version controls for you. And now someone might ask, what is version control? Version control system is a system that records all the changes made to a file or set of files. So a specific version may be called later if needed. You have your documents, you have changes you made to some of your documents. It allows multiple people, VSC allows multiple people to cooperate and share files. So those documents you have in your computer or some of those computer programs, the files, your folders, VCS manages the changes you made to that files and equally allows multiple people, many people to work on a particular project. And then it also helps to track our code changes. So any code you made on a file, it helps track that change, keep record of the changes you made to any section of your code. And then with time, you can equally update and then save those things back to Git, which is VCS. So why do we use VCS? We use it for storing version. Securely stored and back up your file. Keep track of different versions of files and then changes made to your project. It's very helpful when you're working on a project. You know, at times you get to miss some things and then you can't even remember where those things are saved, or mistakenly you delete a folder from your system. If those files or those folders are saved to Git, you can easily restore them back. And then Git also keep track and also keep history backup for you. It helps one to know who worked on a particular project, feature in a code, if you are working in a team. And then it also helps to know what changes has been done to a particular section of a code and also know when it was done. So those history are what VSC helps Git to know when, who, and what was done on a particular section of the code. And then it also helps in teamwork and collaboration. So with Git, you can work with more than 5 people in a particular project, and then it makes your work easier too among the teams. It also restores previous version of your code. Like I said earlier, if you actually missed or your code is messed up, like it's break or it's crash or something, then you can easily restore back the older version that was working really good. Then with Git, so you can understand what happens to your code. So understanding what happens, Git gives you that room to put in a message describing what you did. So maybe you actually pushed a code and then you're trying to remember what you actually did to that particular section of the code or the particular folder that has the code you pushed. There is a room for description or a title to what you did, so that with time you can go back and then you understand what you did. So now, what is GitHub? GitHub is a website to host your repositories online, just that. So the whole work you're doing is on Git, which is the software you install in your system. And now for you to host everything you've done, you use GitHub. So with GitHub, so other people can see your works and you get to see all the things you've actually done. Okay. There are some things we'll be using in this Git training or as we go on with Git. So there are so many terms and common terms we'll be using. You might hear me say directory. You shouldn't be confused. Directory is just the folder you're working on. So your folder is a directory. So if you don't use folder, you can call it. If you don't use directory, you can call it folder. Then your terminal or your command line is an interface for text commands. So this is where we'll be typing our commands. Our terminal is what we'll be using to type our commands in. Then when I say CD, it means change directory. So when you see it, you are actually navigating through your folders. You are changing your folders, just like double tapping on a folder in your system. So you use in the terminal, you use the CD to change or to like tap into a different folder. Then code editor. I believe you already know what code editor is. It's where you write your code. Then you also hear me say repository. Repository is your project folder. That is where your project is kept. That is your repository. So when you hear all these things, you shouldn't be confused. We'll also look at some of the Git commands that we have. These are the major Git commands we'll be using most in this training. We have cloned. Clone is to bring a repository that is hosted in GitHub to your local machine. So the project we have on GitHub, if you want to bring it to your local machine, you use git cloned. So you input that command in your terminal, and then you have a copy of what you have in your GitHub in your system. Then we also use add command. You use add command whenever you want to track your file or changes in your Git. So you're like telling Git, I have actually, I've made changes to this thing. Okay, just recognize this file. So you now use the command git add. Then if you want to save to Git, after allowing Git to see your file or your folder, you use git commit. After you've done all this, you've added your file or your folder to Git, and then you've saved the file. Then you want to publish it, like you want to host it on GitHub, use the command git push. So that command uploads git commit, that is your self file, to a remote repo like GitHub. Then if you have a repo already existing on GitHub and then you want to bring it down to your local machine or your computer, then you use Git pull. So Git pull will now download changes from the remote repo to your local machine. Then we'll also look at Git branch. We'll talk a lot more about this branching later on. Branching within Git is a way of taking a copy of the code into what's called a branch. So just like the name is branching, just like segmenting your code, then putting them in branches. You have different branches. You get to know what branches are in this course. Then we also have merge. If you're using, we can have multiple branches for a particular folder in Git. So if you are trying to, if you apply a change to one of the folder, and then you want that change to also affect, or you want to push that change to another folder, to apply that change to another folder, you use git merge. So that change, the two folders will now have the same changes that you made to the other one. So these are the basic commands in Git. So let's see a demo of what we just discussed now. First of all, I'll go to my GitHub, and I want to believe that we've all registered on Git, and then we have accounts on GitHub already. If you have accounts on GitHub, when you open GitHub page, this is what you're going to see on your page. That is your dashboard. That is what you're going to see. On your dashboard, you see your profile. You see your profile on the very top right corner of your screen. And then you see your repo. After your profile, you see your repositories. If I use repo, it's the same thing as repository, so don't be confused. Then you also see, if you don't use this, you can also see repositories on the left corner of your screen too. Then you can see new. So when you click on new will automatically generate a page. Let me try that. A page for you to create a new repository. Okay, but before then, let's look at what we have on the repositories. Okay, so on my GitHub account, this is the repositories I have, the repos I have in my GitHub. I have about 58 repositories on my GitHub. If I opened any of these repositories, you get to see some of the works I've done, and then a README file describing what this repository is all about. Okay. So let's try and create a repo for a project. I'll click on this new. Then I'll give my repository a name. Let's say learn Git. Let me use that word, learn Git. Then I can decide to give it a description. Then I'll just leave this the way it is, or I can choose to add a README file. A README file gives the repo a description of what your project is all about. So you can add a README file so that when someone is on your repo, the person will easily know what that project is all about. Then I'll just leave these ones the way it is, and then I'll click on create. Okay, so I have the repo created already, and then the README file I added. You can see it here. So there is nothing on my repo yet. For me to add something to my repo, I will have to use my Git to do that. So what I'll basically do, since I have this already created, since I have this repo already created, I'll use the git clone command, to clone this repo to my computer, my local system, so that I will have this on my local too. So let's do that. Okay. Let me get rid of this. Okay. So I'll git bash here. Then create a folder for it using the mdkir command. Let me see. Git class. Okay, sorry, mkdir. Sorry, okay. Then I'll use my cd. Remember I said cd means change directory. Then to change into that folder, you can see on my I am still on my web class desktop. My desktop, then the name of the folder I am now is web class. But if I use cd, it's going to return to my root folder. So to go into that, I'll just try and see what I have in this my root folder. Let me list, using ls to list everything I have in my folder, in my root folder. So these are all the documents I have in my list, my root folder rather. So now I want to go to my desktop because that is where that particular folder is. I'll use cd, then type in desktop. You can see in my root folder, I have a desktop folder here too. So I'll just type in desktop correctly. So desktop, then enter, and then I'll also list out what I have in my desktop. Oh, I have so many folders in my desktop. Then I'll try and target the particular folder I want. I'll equally use cd and then wait. Okay, another thing, another beautiful thing about this terminal is that it also gives you that shortcut you can use to quickly navigate through a particular folder. Like if you use cd and then you just type in a keyword like W, or let's say WE, and then you use your tab, it will bring up anything that has to do with that WE. Then I think I have just one WE here. So it brings up the particular folder I wanted, and then I'll just press enter. So I am now in this web class. So let me see what I have inside there. I have lesson 3 folder, new folder, and the rest. So what I'm more concerned with is the Git class. So I'll just cd into that Git class. Okay, so I am there now. Then if I check, there is nothing inside that folder. That is why it's not showing anything. So what I need to do now, Jesus, I'm talking to myself. Hello, can everybody hear me?
Yes,
Loud and clear. We can hear you.
we can hear you, please.
Okay, sorry, I thought my internet went off. Okay. Okay, so what I'll do now is to clone the repo I have on my GitHub. Sorry. Oops. Sorry, I think it went off. So let me just find it. Okay, so this is the repo. Then I believe you can see my screen. You can see my browser, right?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, we can.
Okay. Okay, so what I'll do, I will click on code here. Then click on this link, click on this icon to copy the code. Or when you scroll down, okay, I'll click on this icon to copy the code. So it's successfully copied. Then I'll go to my terminal and then just paste the code. Sorry.
Oh, we need to write git clone.
Sorry. Okay, I'll use git clone and then paste the URL of that particular repo and then enter. Yeah, so it's generates, it's copy, download everything I have in that repo to my local. Okay, so if I do ls, I have that particular project in my local computer now. Yeah. So let me open this in my VS Code and then try adding something to it. Okay, so this is the folder. I'll just open it here. Oh yeah, okay, this is it. Then in my VS Code, I have a terminal in my VS Code where I can use my Git badge. So if you don't want to use the one here, you can also use the one in your VS Code. So you just click on the terminal in your VS Code and then change this. If you can see my screen, you click on this, then you see option to change from whatever it was to Git badge. So let me just use Git badge. Yeah, so it's just the same thing as using your normal Git badge here. Okay. So in this folder, I have my README file from my remote repository. So from here you can see my README file, and then you also see the same README file in my project folder on my local. So it gives a clone of what you have online on your local. Then you can also add other files to it. So let me try and add an index.html file. Okay, so inside my index.html file, I'll just put up my HTML structure and probably have H1 here that says I am learning Git. I'm learning Git and GitHub. Okay, so if I look at this, So I have this folder created already, but the thing is this folder has not been added to Git. How do you know that this folder has not been added to Git? There is a command called git status. If you use that command git status, you see on track file. Then it also tells you to use git add, then the name of the file to include the file in your Git. So this is really cool because it's actually directing you on what to do. So what we'll do to track this file is to use git add. The file that is on track is in red. You can see it indicates red there. So you use git add, then the name of the file, and then you press enter. But then if you have so many files that you want to add to Git, it will be boring, or it will not be nice to start typing all the files you need to add to Git. So what you can do basically is just adding a period just after your add, and then space. You just have a period, and then you press enter. It will add all the files that is in that particular directory to your Git. So I'll just use git add. And then if I do git status again, status, so it's now telling me that it has been added, but then I need to commit my file, the new file that has been added. So it changes from red to green, indicating that this file has been recognized by Git, but it has not been saved. So I'll use git commit to save my file, git commit. Then I'll need my commit message using the -m. So my commit message, it has to be descriptive. You know what you did. Sorry, my keyboard is functioning somehow. Sorry, my keyboard is behaving somehow. Okay, I have that. So you need these two quotes. You need these quotes, quotation mark, to add your comment. So after your git commit -m, then you have a quote, and then you type in the commit message. This is like our first initial commit. Let me just use that. Initial commit. So this is like a title. Then you can have a description. This will be very detailed. You can have a description of what this particular commits, or what you actually change, and then you're trying to save to Git. You can add any description you want. But I would like to leave this empty and just go with the title. So you can choose to add the description, or you can just go with the title. Then you click on enter. So you see one file change, 12 insertions, create mode, and all that. So this has been saved to Git. Then the next thing you need to do after saving and after adding and then saving, you use git push to publish it to your remote repository. Using git push, origin, then the branch you're working on. So let's look at what branch we have here. The default branch here is main. We can create multiple branches for our work. We'll see how that is done. So let's just push to our main branch. All right, so that is done. Then when you reload the page, that index.html has been added. Then you see the comments that we made, initial commit, and then so this is just a README file. Then for this README file, you can equally edit this README file and add more description to it. So whichever way you can do that too. And then after doing that, you can save, create a README file. If you don't add anything here, You can create a README file and then you save, or you can come to your code editor, click on this, and then add a description or whatever you want to add. Then if you are using hash plus whatever you're typing in here that is like your title. Okay, all right. Okay, so after adding this, I would like to create a branch so that you see how branch work. Let me go back to my Git. Okay, and I'll play this. Oh, sorry. Let me go back to my terminal and then clear whatever I did so that this will not be showing. So if you just type CLEAR in your terminal, it will take off everything that you did. So I want to create a branch. Okay, so before then, let's see the branches that we have in this repo, in this project. Okay, using Git branch, you can see the branch we have. We have just one branch, which is the main branch. And you see the asterisk that is pointed to that branch. And then the name of the branch that we have is on green. So indicating that that is where you are currently. Then to create another branch, you use Git checkout -b, then the name of the branch you want to create. Let's say we want to have a develop branch or a master branch, whatever the name is, or whatever name you choose to use. Let me just use develop here. And then you press enter. Okay, so this branch has been created for you. And then when you do git branch, you see that the branch is created and it's on that branch. And so it changed to green, while the other main branch changed to main. Then on this branch, you can add more content to that particular branch. You can have, let's say, about us.html. Then you enter, and then you have probably some contents here. So we can have something like about Git training, or anything you want to use it, or all your code will go in here. Okay. Then when you're done, or when you're about to commit, you can always use the git add git commit command. So when we look at git status, we see that that file is on track. Yeah, so it's on track. So let's try and track this file. I think we changed something in our README file. So it's now showing me one modified, and then on track is about us, which is 1. So to add this to the changes I made to the README file, I think I probably made a change. Okay, that would be this space I had. So let me just add some. Okay. So with that, I can use my git add, then my period to add the 2 files, then enter, and then git commit -m, and then my commit message. Then enter. Okay, so those files have been saved to Git, and then I can use git push to publish to GitHub. Then the thing is, if you are going back to the main branch. So let's go back to the main branch and see what happened. But before we go back, notice that we have two files here, the about us files and the index file. So let's go back to the main file and see if we still have those two files there. Let's say git checkout, the name of the branch. This time you're not using -b because you're not creating a branch. So you just type the name of the branch, which is main, and then enter. You're already in the same folder, but on a different branch. So you see that the about us, which was not added to the main folder, is not there in the main folder, except you merge the develop folder to the main folder. That is when you have everything in the develop inside the main. Then what we're going to do now is to also change contents. Let me add more content to this particular main branch. Let me just say okay, so I just added a paragraph to my index.html, and then I'll have to add this those changes I made. If I do git status, you see that it's telling me that this has been modified. Index.html has been modified. So I need to track it and then save it to Git. Then I'll use git add. Okay, git commit -m in what I did, my commit message, that is what I did, add paragraph. Then I'll just click enter. Okay. So now when you check out to develop, git checkout, develop. Okay, so this here changes to develop, indicating that we are in develop branch. When we were in main branch, it changed to main to indicate where we are. So we are now in develop branch. And when you open your index.html file, you will not see that paragraph in this index.html file. Okay, so that is how a branch is helping our work. So if now we have an issue with our develop branch, and then we try to solve that issue, we cannot, then we know that our main file is actually, the main branch is actually working nice. We can switch back to that main branch and then continue from there. Instead of starting everything from the beginning, that would be too, that would not be nice at all. So that is why branching is very good. So at the point in your coding, you have to create branches for your work, so that if anything happens to a particular branch, then you can always switch back to another branch and continue working. So after doing all this, let's push our code. Let's publish our code online using git push. Git push. Okay, so my code has been updated. I can see my changes. A branch has been added to my remote repo. So I can see the changes I've done. I have my index.html file. I have my about.html file added. And if I open this, you see everything I added to my index file, then go back and then you see everything I added to my about file. Okay, so that's for cloning. Then if you're not doing it this way, if you don't have a repo already online, then you can also use your local to create a Git project. So this is how you do. Let's go to our VS Code and then create a folder, another folder. Okay, let me open this page. Let me open this page in my, let me open this in my, this folder in my VS Code. I have to close this. Okay, so I have the other folder I was working on. So let me create another folder for this other task we want to do now. And call that Git local Git. Okay, so this is a folder I just created now. Okay, then for it, I'll open that folder in my terminal, VS Code terminal. Okay, then if I do git status, so it's now telling me that Git, not a Git repository or any of the parent directories. Why is this showing? Because I've not added, there is nothing like .git in this particular repository. If you go back to this other file we have here, and then open this file on the terminal, then you do ls.a sorry, ls-a. Okay, I don't think this is working here. And this does not recognize this command. Or you can do it here. Okay, ls-a. So it's now lists everything in these directories, like listing all the things, all the hidden files in a particular directory. So let's just go into that folder. The folder is called Learn Git. So let's just go into that folder and see what the whole folder we have, because there is a folder hidden that we cannot see. So we have Learn Git. Then we have ls-a. Okay, so we have a .git file in this particular folder. Okay, well, in this, the new folder we created, the local Git folder we created, let's navigate to that folder to cd. I'm trying to take a step backward so as to go back to my Git class and then navigate to that particular folder. Okay, so let me go into this folder again, local-git. Then I'll do the same command, ls-a. Okay, so we do not have this .git folder inside. Without this .git folder, Git will not recognize any of your command. So what we'll do here is to initialize Git's folder inside this working directory. Let's clear this off. So we use the command git init. All right, so reinitialize existing Git repository and all that. So Git has added this for us now. And we can, if we try to do ls again, ls-a, you will see that we'll have that git inside there. Sorry, I think we are on a wrong folder. So let's open this in our terminal. Okay, and then do git init. Okay, then when we go back to do ls-a, yeah, we have the .git folder inside. And then by default here, we have the master branch by default. So we can work with this now. We have the git initialized. Without adding that initialized, that means git doesn't exist in that particular file or directory. So let's add an index or HTML file to this. This is this. Okay, so we have this file here, and then we can add something like working with Git on the local machine. Okay. Then we can add the README file. So let's add a README file to this. And it's going to be a markdown. So we have readme.md. Then we have a description here. So our description could be like using Git, could be anything describing your project, using Git on the local machine. And then I can have something like full description, like I am using Git in my local machine. It feels good. Okay, I'm full stop. Okay, so let's see if this file has been added using Git status. This status read out the files that has not been added or tracked here. So let's make it recognize this our file by using git add. Just follow the normal process, git add, then the names of the files. In my case, I'll just use dot to add those two files. Then git status. The two files has been added. Then I'll just commit and save my changes. Git commit -m. Initial commit for my local Git. Okay, so two files changed, 14 insertions. These 14 insertions are what I have done on my files, in all the two files. Then I have the two files, which is the index.html and the readme.md files. Then with this, I can push to Git using git push origin, the name of the branch, which is master. Okay, let me change this to Git batch so that we'll see everything we are doing. Okay, I just changed that to Git batch. So I'll just use git push to publish my my local repo to my remote repo. Git push origin master, not a Git repository. Okay, so I have to change to that particular directory since I am not in that directory. I'm having desktop web class, and then Git class as the name of the folder. Meanwhile, I'm working with local Git folder. So let me change to that local Git folder. Okay. So it's not showing me that I'm on master. Then when I use Git push origin master, let's see what we have. Okay, so it's telling me origin does not appear to be a Git repository, could not read from remote repository. So this is, then I'm now told to please make sure you have the correct access, right? And the repository exists. So we do not have access to this repository we are trying to push to. Let's see if we have access to any remote repository by using Git remote. So there's no remote repo coming up. So let's create a remote repo for this particular local directory now. I'll go to my repositories on GitHub, then create new. I'll click on new and then create a new repository. Then I'll name this local, let me just name this local Git. Okay. Then I will just leave the README since I have the README already in my local. So I will leave that and then create. Okay, so this is created already. And it's now telling me to initialize this, giving me some commands to use on my local. So I did this. I also added the README file and then also committed, did my commits. So what I'll do now is to copy the URL, this URL, and then add to my local repo. Go back to my terminal and then do git remote add origin. So when I do git remote, okay, so this is git remote. I'm on the origin. So git remote, to get the URL, I'll do git remote. Git remote -v. Yeah, that is the code. Okay. So I have my remote repo added to my local. So I can now publish what I have on my local to this particular repo now. Okay, so it is published. Then on my GitHub, I will load this page. So everything I did on my local has been pushed to GitHub, and then it can be seen. When this link is shared, anybody with the link can see what I have. And then the person can see the changes I made here. Okay. Then the changes I made to my index.html and all that. So at this point, I would like to take questions. I'd like to pause now and take questions.
Okay, so if you have a question, please just raise your hand. Hello, does anyone have a question? Please raise your hand. Okay, Joel, go ahead. Hello, Joel. Hello, Joel, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so in the absence of no question on this, maybe on what has been taught, so I think I'll just entertain 4 questions concerning the training. 4 questions concerning the training. So if you have a question concerning the training, just raise your hand. 4 people. Okay, Malik, go ahead.
Good morning.
Yes, go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
Good morning. So I wasn't really opportune to enter this class early. So I don't know if she spoke about merging repos.
Sorry, come again. I didn't get you.
I wasn't opportune to enter the class early because I was occupied. I want to ask if she spoke about merging repos.
Okay, if she spoke about merging repos.
Yeah.
Okay, promise.
Yes, yes. Okay, so about merging, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay, about merging repo, you can actually merge a repo. Let me share my screen again. Okay, I hope you can see my screen.
Yes, I can.
Okay, so right now. Okay, so I actually talked about making branches from a particular branch to another. You have different changes. You can merge one branch to another branch. Then you have the same change. Okay, so that is what we're going to do now. Let me use this project, okay. Okay, so to merge a branch to another branch, this is what you do. Okay, let's change to this directory. Let me use my Git badge. Okay, so I am on develop branch, and develop branch is like the latest branch. I will switch to another branch. Let me. Okay, so I have the main branch. I will switch to the main branch using git checkout, then the name of the branch. Okay, so this is not an updated branch. Okay, I think I still have some content I'm not on develop. So I'll just merge what I have on this branch, that is the about branch, to the main branch. So what I will do now is using git merge. Then the name of the branch I want to merge into. Remember, I checked out to the branch I want to merge the other branch to. Then after checking out, I now do git merge. Then the name of the branch that is updated, that I want to move the whole thing to the other branch, is what I'll use here. So I'll have git merge, then the name of the branch. Okay. So just with that, you have merge made by the recursive strategy, the readme.md, then about us.html, then 2 file change, 15 insertion, and all that. So these are just how to make your branch. So we now have, before we didn't have this about us here, we now have the about us page here. Then if we check out to a git, if we check out to develop branch, git checkout develop. We on develop branch, and then we still have the same files inside. Then for this develop branch, you can still merge what you have on the main branch. On the main branch, we add some content to the index of HTML, a paragraph. So you can also merge that using git merge. Then the name of the branch, which is main. Okay, so everything has been joined together. We now have both branches updated.
Okay.
Yeah, another thing I would also like to show you guys is PR. If you hear PR, it means pull request. So when you're working with teams, you always use this pull request to actually request for matching. So it's like you are working on a particular repository with everybody working on it. So you've done changes to your own project, and then you want to match it to the original repo that was created. So what you do is to create a PR, what they call PR, pull request, requesting for your changes to be matched to the original repo. So here for this file, let me switch back to the other one. I had two branches. Okay. So I have 2 branches here already, and my changes have not been pushed. So here I can compare what I have in develop branch to my main branch. So if I click on pull request, you see able to merge. These branches can be automatically merged. The arrow, you see this arrow pointing towards the main branch, is telling you where you are actually merging. So we are moving, we are requesting that what we have in the
and then it's not all video.
Hello.
Yeah. So you're not, what we are trying to say is everything is not video.
Hello, Ike, can you mute your mic?
Go on, sorry, I don't think it's Ike.
Okay. Okay, so you're trying to move in everything you have in develop branch to the main branch. So you request a PR for your changes to be moved to the main branch. So when that is done, you actually describe what you did here. You have a title for what you did, and then you have a description for what you did. This description can also carry an image to describe everything that you've done. And then when you are done, you can create a pull request. Okay. So let me have a short description here describing what I have done. So in this, my develop branch, I added an about us page, and then I'll create pull request. Okay, so the person you're requesting, creating a pull request to, or anyone seeing this your pull request can come here and then merge. But for here, I created it to my repo, so I can actually be the one doing the merging, compare, and then I can merge. So when I merge, I'll confirm this. So when I merge, I will go back to my code. Then I'll see on my main, I'll see the about us or HTML meshed together. Okay. So does anyone have any other question? I believe that answers your question, right?
Yes, yes, it does. Thank you very much.
Okay, Daniel, your hand is up. Please unmute and ask your question.
Okay, thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Please, during the course of the assignment on task 5, that we were to push our contents to GitHub.
Okay.
I did push my content to GitHub, but it was really I think the mistake I did was I added readme file. I clicked that part that they said add readme file from the 3 options. So when I created my repo now, I'm pushing my contents to GitHub. The thing was not showing all these index.html and all those files. Instead, it was showing as meshing. It wrote mesh up, but was not displaying the other contents down. Even though I changed my settings and I add my URL and the thing showed, but the thing was not still showing me. I don't know if I'm on the right track.
Okay, so you actually wanted to push, but it was showing matching. Was it like an error or something? Or
No,
it
it was not.
actually pushed?
It
There was no
actually
error.
pushed. There was no error. It actually pushed. But instead, from my GitHub now, I didn't have all those files display like index.html about and all those things. It was not displaying. It was only displaying on top that I should mesh.
Okay.
Though I still use my settings, I got my URL, in which the URL was what I sent for the assignment. It was showing this. If I from the URL I got, if I load the page, it will show. But I
Okay,
mean from my
it could possibly mean that you've not actually added your files to Git, or you've not saved your file to Git.
I did.
Okay.
I used gig add dot with period.
Okay, and you're very sure that you were on the right directory.
Yes.
Okay.
If those files were not uploaded to GitHub, if I use my URL, it won't show the page at all. But this one, those URL that I got from GitHub, if I load it, it is page that I created, it will show well. But these files were not shown like from my GitHub now, like all those admin.
Okay, maybe you need to check your path very well. Okay. Or maybe on the Slack channel, for the Ask a Mentor channel, just do a screenshot of what you have and then post it there so that someone can attend to your question. Okay.
Okay, ma, thank you.
Smadina, your hand is up. Can I ask your question?
Yeah, class.
Hello, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
It's
kind of
Daniel, please mute your mic.
The activity 5, I've completed it, but I've not been able to push it on the GitHub. But I believe that though I didn't start this class on the beginning, but if I go to the YouTube and watch it again, I will be able to get the step-by-step on how to do that. Just want to confirm if I can still submit my activity 5 link to the GitHub after this class. I hope it will not be too late because
Yes, you
I've not
can.
okay, because that's just the only thing I've not done and I've been trying to use many YouTube videos, and at a point it will just not just comply. I've just been having that problem of errors and errors and errors. So, but I think if I go through this and follow this step by step, I should be able to get it. So I just want to confirm if I can do that after this class and still submit it, not be late.
You can do that, yes.
All right, thank you.
I'm not seeing any hand up again, so I want to believe that this is all the questions we have. So over to you, Ike.
Okay,
Ogochukwu, your hand is up.
Okay, Ogochukwu, go ahead.
Give me a moment. Okay. Good day, everyone. Can we hear me?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. So I just wanted to say something. So concerning when you're creating PRs, actually, so if you saw what she did, there's a section where you add comments and all of that. So just for future reference, yeah, when you're collaborating on a team, it's not in your place to actually merge PRs, yeah. So there's actually going to be somebody who is in charge of merging PRs, so that you won't create something that is funny looking or a code that does not work, and then you feel that, oh, I did a good job and I should just merge it into the whole into everybody's work. So somebody will actually be in charge of that, of merging of PRs. It's not everybody's work. Somebody like a team lead will be handling that. Then a side note. So when you're creating a PR, if it's something that has to do with an interface, I think it's best for you to show screenshots of what that page actually looks like. Then that's when I say screenshots, I mean when you finish implementing the page, you just use your maybe an extension on your browser and take the image of what it looks on a laptop, and then maybe on a smaller phone if you're working with responsiveness. Then I also noticed that a couple of us are saying that, or we're reacting that it's like rocket science. So it's not really difficult per se. You just need to go and practice, because when you don't practice, it looks as if it's so huge, but it's not really. It's not something huge. It's something doable. Everybody was at that stage when it was also all confusing, but when you start practicing it, you get better at doing it, and you actually come to like it very well. So that's what I have to say.
Okay, so thank you for that. Malik, you have a question. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So I wasn't opportune to join KodeCamp early, so I didn't know like the orientation like phase of the whole thing. So I don't know if you like give me an overview
Malik,
of maybe
please ask your question again. I'm finding it difficult to hear you.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. So I'm trying to ask, can you give me an overview of the whole program? Because I wasn't opportune to join the orientation phase. So I'm aware it's 16 weeks, but aside that, I don't know like maybe what we are going to cover and don't know.
Okay, so please go to our KodeCamp team YouTube channel. You'll see the info session. Okay, there you actually get every question, every answer you need concerning the program. Okay.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, so thank you, everyone. So one of the things I want to encourage us as developers is this: you need to learn to research. You need to learn to research. Okay, I always tell people Google is your friend. Okay, learn to research. There's just little we can do. Now, for some of us who probably after this training are going to, get job placements, or you understand, so you will come across issues where you would not have mentors to actually reach out to. You will not have me. You won't have Ogochukwu. You won't have Promise. So you need to be able to learn to research. Some of the questions you're asking, if you do your diligent research, you find answers to them. So let's learn to research, right? Developers, you all are developers, so learn that. Okay, so thank you very much. I promise you wanted to say something.
Oh, I'm fine. I think someone responded to the question. Someone was asking, in all the tutorials I've seen, this is the most dummy. So I want us to explain. I think he was trying to ask me to explain how I get to window environment looking like CMD prompt. I think if I get her or him clearly, he was trying to ask how I got into my Git path.
Okay, so I think you should just watch the video on YouTube and then you'll get answers to
Yeah.
that. Okay, so thank you everyone for your availability. So like we said, for the web track, you're not going to be giving you a bonus assignment, so just make sure you submit the activities that is left on or before 11 p.m. this night. You've already had a revision class. That is going to be dropped on YouTube, and I'll drop the link on the channel so you guys can get access to it. Okay, so thank you very much. Please do your task so you can be moved to stage 2 before the end of today. Thank you and have a nice day.
There's a hand raised.
All right, thank you very much.
So Madina, what's your question?
Please, it's not like a question. The last class you did on revision, I didn't see the YouTube link because
That is what I
was
just said. That is just what I said. I said I was going to drop that ASAP.
Okay. Thank you so much, because this one has the link of the video. Thank you, sir.